could it possibly go sideways? This is Nuggets. Nuggets never goes sideways.
Okay.
Well, I made it from Wisconsin to Iowa. 6 hour day trip today. I would say that's probably a 28-hour trip without a trailer
Oh my gosh.
equivalent because the trailer adds a whole bunch of stress. And I don't have a whole lot of internet. My router, which is like right there, I'm this close to my router. It says your connection is weak. So we'll try it. We'll see what happens.
Boy, this could be an interesting episode, is what I'm hearing, huh?
Oh, they're all interesting, Jim. Every single one of them.
No, interesting as
So,
in may we live in interesting times, interesting kind of thing, you
ah,
know.
yes, that too. So before we get too far, we have our fourth Monday of the month. Is it fourth or fifth Monday of the month? One, two, three, fourth Monday of the month. Last
Fourth.
Monday of the month. Not last, fourth. And we had two people show up for the VE session to sit for their shingle, to sit for their licensing exam, and they walked away. Well, probably had more than two people, and they walked away with their technician test, their technician license in hand. Michael Broadhacker, oh, what an awesome name for this show, and
Really?
Jay Schumann both passed their technician exam tonight.
Well,
Congratulations,
congrats,
boys.
Michael and Jay. Way to go. Welcome to
And
the club, nerds.
exactly, you're one of us now.
You're our people.
Yeah. So if you've got green text in the chat, that means you're a member. Thank you very much for being here. And this is your last Nuggets of May. So make sure if you've got your membership milestone super chat, get it warmed up and ready to make fun of us when we screw up big time during the show.
Oh
Not
boy,
that
that
that ever
internet.
happens, especially not live. So we're going to take a different tack tonight. We kind of know a little bit about what we're doing, but we don't know the subject matter, what we're doing it on. So tonight's topic is this UV8000E radio that my friend Ronnie sent in, and it wasn't part of what I asked him to send. He's like, "Here, just take this thing, have fun with it, do something." Yeah, exactly right, John. Thanks to the VEs that could make it happen. And the stinking badges. James with his badges. Thank you, James.
James, you're awesome. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah. So I don't know if this thing works. I haven't turned it on. I don't know if the batteries are charged. It's missing its packing material. It's a Boxo radio. So we're gonna play with that a little bit tonight.
So you're not packing, is what you're saying.
I'm not. Well, no, I am. I'm always packing.
Well, you said it
So
was
for those,
missing the packing.
yes, it is missing the packing, but I am packing. You asked if I was packing.
I might be, I might not be.
At this time.
Make a decision.
Right.
And
So
keep in mind, I live in Alabama.
yeah,
You're judged here by not by the size of anything, but by how many you have. I'm just saying.
Ronnie's here. Ronnie did not pack. So, all right. So the Toads licensing session that I mentioned earlier that Jay and Michael passed, Michael and Jay, yeah, passed today is the fourth Monday of the month. You can get to it at ham.study/sessions. And for some reason, it's got the wrong call sign in there, W2HRC/all. But that is the Toads combo with Ham Radio Clubhouse. Testing session, and we do it the fourth Monday of the month. Our volunteer examiner coordinator is none other than our esteemed Toads Club member, KO4AFL, Steve Anderjack. And sometimes Steve joins us, sometimes Steve doesn't on Nuggets. But if you're there, then shout out to you, Steve. Thank you very much for coordinating all of us. Jim, you look fantastic as always.
I feel fabulous. This gray hair down here is annoying me.
Yeah. So if you want to get your license, or if you want to upgrade your license from tech to general, or from general to extra, or probably even get your GROL, which is like the next step up, then we got your back. We can help you out with that. Somehow we'll make it all happen. If you would like
I
to,
I want to
go
look
ahead.
into the GROL. I've always been curious what's on that. I'm
I
afraid to
do
find
too.
out after
I
extra.
do too. So if you don't know, the GROL is the General Radio Operator's License, and at its minimum, it's got so many things it can do, but at its minimum, it allows you to have the rights to certify a marine radio station. And marine vessels are required to have marine radio stations, and they're required to have a relatively routine certification process. So you get to do that. James, it's been a
Switch,
while.
switching it up, James. Tricking you
No,
people.
it's not always blue, mostly blue.
No, I mean, I've got red, I've got green, I've got 3 or 4 shades of
Oh,
green.
you've got that salmon color too.
I do not own anything that's salmon colored.
Salmon. Is it like the pretty iridescent color of my scales? Why is it pink? Why
No.
why is it pink?
Listen, Mrs. Perry purchases all my clothes, and I don't tell her anything except A, I don't want to look like a 42nd Street pimp, and
Right,
B, I ain't wearing anything that's pink or yellow. Thank you.
right.
We're done.
Salmon,
Salmon.
solder. Salmon, solder. It'd be
Salmon.
like salmon, solder. Solder, salmon. See, I can do that. All right. So if you want to become a volunteer examiner yourself, then you can reach out to Glarg, and Frank will drop a link in the chat for us and tell him that KM9G, me, or WT1W, Jim, or even KO4AFL has
Eh,
sent you, because you need to have someone to verify that you're worthy enough of becoming a volunteer examiner. And then you can test people who are below your level. If you're a general, so if you're a general, you get to test techs. If you're an extra, you get to test generals and techs. And if you're an extra, you get to test extras, generals, and techs, because there ain't nothing better than an extra to test you to become an extra. It's weird how that works. And John WV3L will sponsor people also. So, oh, oh, does Mrs. Perry lay out your clothes before work? Look, he's not answering
not that you know of. No, she
at this
does
time.
not. She does not, but she's usually not out of the bedroom before I'm dressed. So it's the next best thing. Oh, you're wearing that. That's
Right.
wife code. That means, please
Yeah.
God, don't go out and look like that because people know I'm married to you.
Stain? What stain?
That's right. Baby, no one can see that.
Yeah, it's below the belt. What are you doing looking below my belt, woman?
That's
So
right. We're
next
married.
Monday,
That game's over.
exactly. Yeah. Well, that's not how all marriages work.
Whatever.
So
Whatever.
back to the announcements. Totally get off of that topic. Never mind. I could say more about
I,
that, but
I, I've got 5 of them rolling around in my head right now. I'm just not going to say them.
right, right. So next Monday is the first Monday Q&A session, and if you are wanting to submit a question, there is a form that Frank is going to link for us. Thank you, Frank. And that will get you your question in the question pool of things that we're going to answer. If we don't know it, we'll totally tell you that we don't know the answer, and then we'll make one up anyway. And if we do know it, we'll tell you that we know the answer, and then we'll make one up anyway. But
Right.
if you would like to get your questions in ahead of time, then that's the way to do it. During the show, we answer the questions in order in the form to make sure that we've got some context and maybe some props or something. I don't know. It all depends on what the question is and how much work we have to do between then and now. Like sometimes emergencies get up and get in the way.
Right.
Yeah, and if we don't know, the audience will. And even if
Don
we
will
do know,
have an
the audience
opinion
will know.
regardless, right?
Yes, Don tricked us yesterday on Hayden's show. He was trying to ask hard hitting questions and then told us that he did the thing anyway. We do have a giveaway tonight. It is going to be this radio, which has all of the accoutrement that you will see, like a battery eliminator. It also has a battery, but it's got a battery eliminator. And so you'll be able to receive this. But next Monday on the show, it's missing a knob, so you get to 3D print your own knob. Next Monday on the show, we'll have more giveaways. I should have a box of stuff from Chameleon Antenna to give away, which ought to be pretty interesting. Let's see. I think that's it for that. So we can kind of just jump in. I asked in the chat before a lot of people showed up. Oh, Jim was sneaking the code in. Um, what would you, if you're looking for a new radio, what would you like to know about that before you bought it, or when you received it in your hand, what do you want to know about it? And somebody said that it must transmit on all bands simultaneously. That was good. Somebody said that it must do APRS. This radio doesn't natively do APRS to the best of my knowledge, but we are hams. We make things go. So we can
with
make this radio do APRS with a couple
with an
of,
AIOC
oh,
board,
I found a knob.
it should
Hang on.
APRS, correct?
It should.
If it has a Kenwood connector on it. Well, actually, and there's a newer version out too that doesn't require the Kenwood connector. Not that the old one did. You could just solder.
The AIOB.
Yeah, the AI. I have one. I haven't even played with it. I've had it for months.
So this does have a Kenwood connector, which means that it is compatible with all of your accessories. I look for clicky power button. Softies go away. That is true. And the
Mm,
reason why, if you have a soft power button, it drains the battery in storage. So I did find the knob and I put the knob on, and at this time it appears to be staying. Oh, it appears there's battery power to the radio too. Chris, I want 220 also. I only have radios that spuriously transmit on 220. So the
yes.
radio the radio does work. That's a good starting point. Power on.
It's the
So
same lady.
there's
I want to meet that lady.
I know. Baofeng Jill.
Yeah.
That's her
I want
American
her
name.
and Siri and the Amazon lady to get together and do a stream.
I got to tell you, the fit and finish on this radio is lacking. You can you can feel the battery moving around. Can you hear that?
Awkward.
And it
Yeah, I
makes it
heard
come
the I
on.
heard the clicking.
Yeah. So they do make these things called battery eliminators, which are kind of useless in today's day and age of modern radios with USB-C connectors, because all this does is plug into your car cigarette lighter plug. And if you
Right.
have the USB-C powered radio or the USB-C chargeable battery, then you can just plug that into the same thing you plug your cell phone in, which is one of the reasons why USB-C is nice. So we also get in the box a desk charger, and I bet this thing puts out some RF that it shouldn't. Don't leave out the Nortel PBX lady. True. Um, One of the things that's weird about these docking cradles, so this one holds it back at an angle, so you can kind of see it when it's sitting on your desk. But a lot of times they're really hard to get the radio into, or they're really hard to get the radio out of.
Well, they usually have grooves on the side to mate up with corresponding notches in the thing. So you theoretically, if you can find the grooves, it will mate with the battery firmly and not be loose against the contacts, which is a good thing.
So this battery charger is looking for 13.8 volts DC, which would be usable with your benchtop power
Battery.
supply, which is
Yep.
really nice, or a battery, car battery or a bioenno battery, like a lithium iron phosphate battery you take with you in your Go box. But the cool part about this is that you don't need, 30 of these for 30 different
Yeah.
HTs that you have stacked up, because my stack of HTs is right above here, and then my red one in place of pride right there.
Mm,
There's
really.
more than shows, but I have to move the
I mean, I
camera
guess if you
around.
got it, flaunt it.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I do. You had to just get the black one.
The red one was not available, or I would have, maybe. But I also didn't want to copy you. I
No,
would
you
have
could
liked
have
the
got the blue
olive
one
drab
to match
one.
your shirt.
Yes, because it would have matched my shirt, and
Yeah.
I'd be
And
tactical
then
AF.
the output on, because you just blend in, you'd be Blue Man. The output
Right.
on this is 8.6 volts, 400 to 450 milliamp hours. Not a whole lot of charging juice coming out of this thing.
So that's going to take a
Um,
hot minute. What's the size on the battery?
so the size on the battery, you and your hard hitting questions, Jim.
I mean, that's why I'm here, buddy.
It says 7.4 volts, 306. That's wrong. 3,600 milliamp hours, 26.64 watt hours.
So that would take almost 10 hours to fully charge that off of that desktop charger? That's
Yeah,
painful.
3,600 divided by 400.
10-ish. Ish.
Yeah, for
This,
certain
this,
multiples, for certain values of 10.
for certain values of 10, approaching but not exceeding 10. I mean, this ain't math class. You people know that.
Yeah, so this one also comes with a rubber duck antenna and a long unknown antenna. And some of these antennas have writing on the base of the antenna. This one says 136 to 174 megahertz and 400 to 520 megahertz. And the duck says 400 to 480 instead of 400 to 520. And it says 136 to 174, which is the same thing that the other one says. So this is probably, good day, Colin, thank you.
Good
This
day,
is
Colin. Appreciate
probably
it.
getting you 2 meters, and then 70 centimeters is off of the odd harmonic of the antenna, not necessarily because it's a good 70 centimeter antenna. Oh,
Don,
yeah. For $1,800, I'm glad you get
I
3 hours off on the charging.
exactly right. I
I'm
mean, you
not
get
sure
what you
what
pay
he's
for,
bragging.
Donald.
Yeah,
It's a fabulous radio, and it costs 100 times more, literally, than this probably does.
yeah. So this has the battery eliminator thing, which is, like I said before, it's the cigarette lighter plug into the battery shaped thing. But then also Ronnie included in the box this cigarette lighter plug to 5525 thing, and it says output is 12 volts, 1.5 amps, which you would then plug into the charger, like Velcro this to your dashboard. That would be funny.
Mm.
Having this thing Velcroed to the dashboard, just kind of sitting there holding
Nothing
your
says
radio
white
as you drive
trash in it
down the
like
highway.
Velcro battery charger on your dashboard.
Yeah.
And we won't talk about the Velcroed radio under the seat of my truck, but that's a different story.
So this thing says input 12 volts to 24 volts, and it says output 12 volts, 1.5 amps. I think that's a lie.
Why?
Why would it not put out more amperage until it just burnt itself all to hell?
It
What's
doesn't put
stopping it?
out any amperage. It's what the device is going to
Is
accept.
sucking, yes.
The
So your
current
car's
management is
going
on
to
the
do
input
10 to
device.
15 amps. Your car's going to supply 10 to 15 amps.
Probably 10, I think,
There ain't
on power
nothing in here
points.
that's clamping it down. This is
No.
not, there's not enough weight here to do that. This would have some type of clamping circuit in it, and the radio is not going to draw more than a certain amount of power, but yeah. Like, why did they put an amperage rating on this?
Probably a regulation. If I'm
Oh, the
not
government.
mistaken, almost all cigarette lighter plugs or sockets rather take are about 10 amps. I don't think they're any more than that. I don't know that
Jim,
that's a
did you get
standard, but
your
it seems to be kind of a standard on things.
did you get your Colorado POTA accessory kit yet?
No.
No. Grouch, thank you. Velcro is like duct tape. It'll fix anything. If it
Wait,
moves and it shouldn't, duct tape.
what's a Colorado POTA accessory kit?
So Jim and I went
from
on.
the Lark. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mine's
Jim and I
blue.
went. Okay. Jim and I went on a Zoom call at a ham
Yep.
fest to be the Elmers invited, not necessarily the Elmers in charge or the Elmers of record, but we were definitely invited to be Elmers, and it was the two of us, and it was
Cashler.
um, whiskey 5 kilowatts and bourbon.
Yep. I couldn't remember his
KB.
call sign.
Well, I remember his call sign because it's cool. And then the two of us were in there, and as a thank you, they sent us the Colorado POTA accessories kit, which is I can't read that. Longmont, Colorado Amateur Radio Club, LCARC, LCARC, W0ENO, and a nice little letter. And the letter says, the Longmont Amateur Radio Club is very appreciative of your support of our yearly fundraising event. Due to your participation, we were able to provide something different for folks to attend at our event. Notice they didn't say good, they said different.
Right.
As a token of our appreciation, encloses what I call the Colorado POTA accessory kit, and you get a towel to mop your sweat off during the summer, and you get a hat to keep your head warm during the winter. Good luck on all of your videos and promotions of the hobby service of amateur radio. Our club says thank you, and this comes from K0ITP Chuck, who is the president of the Longmont Amateur Radio Club, and then Chuck also sent in a certificate. So I just wanted to say thank you to Chuck for sending this out. It came with a nice frame, and then the certificate itself is printed on
Fancy paper.
nice fancy paper. So that's pretty cool. Thank you very much, Chuck, and the Longmont
Did you
Amateur
just get
Radio
that?
Club. I got it. Well, it went to Texas, and then it went to Wisconsin, and then I drove it to Iowa. So I'm a man on the move, man. I'm a man on the move. Try and keep up with me. So that was pretty cool. It was fun
Jeff,
to do.
thank you for being a member for 11 months.
Hello
We appreciate
from
it.
Kansas. Thank you, Jeff.
Kansas Jeff. Meshtastic David, how are you, buddy?
Oh, that's Mr. Seed Studio.
That's
Nice.
right.
Oh yeah, he didn't want to get a second strike, so we've already clipped one corner of his ham
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
license card.
Mm-hmm. A note was made in his
That
permanent record.
this will go down in your permanent record. So one of the things I linked this in the description of the video. I use a Surecom SW102 as my power meter of choice, and I'm going to try and switch cameras. And like I said, I'm working on kind of limited internet here, so make me a little bit bigger than Jim because I'm much more important. And then switch
Yeah.
cameras, and it's
Wow.
going to be a little tiny bit upside down. And oh, I wanted to tell you guys about this. Remember we talked about
1991 called.
anchovies?
I will put them on pizza.
That's it. I got the Tombstone 5 cheese pizza, and I got the anchovy, so it's gonna happen.
Now I chop
So
them
this
up.
is
I mean, I don't want fish on my pizza. I will
chopped up
chop
fish is
them.
still fish.
Well, no, I don't want to look at something looking back at me on my pizza.
Oh, yeah, no
I chop them
eyeballs.
up and mix them in.
So the
Was
version
that
that I
was that
got,
at
wait,
Dayton we were having that conversation about anchovies? I
it was
think.
a stream a couple of weeks ago. I don't think it was in
Yeah.
person.
Okay.
You might have had it again at Dayton. Do I frequent Associated Radio? I don't know if he's asking me or not. I don't know. Is that a golf ball webcam? Yes, it is. Um, my Surecom kit came with this ground plane, and I think it's actually extremely necessary to have the ground plane when you're doing the testing. But the new versions don't come with the ground plane, so you have to make your own tiger tails. And I'll have a video on doing that eventually when I get done with. But when I start scraping the bottom of the barrel, I'll need to go
Right.
back to doing videos on this
Brother Jonathan
because everybody
dropped a
knows about tails.
1999 super chat.
Ooh,
Thank you, Jonathan.
Jonathan, thank you. And then in my kit, I keep a set of these SO239, well, PL259s.
Yep.
And then on the backside, they've got each gender of SMA. Yeah, my internet sucks today, John. Um, and so what's really cool about that is when you work with the radio, you never know what antenna you're going to get. So it actually works regardless of what
Right.
antenna you get.
Whether it's a
I
male or
just put this one
female
here,
SMA or BNC, yeah.
and then you got to run it through the device.
The dirty secret of ham radio is that I don't care who you are, and I don't care what radio you have, you ain't got the right adapter at some point.
Right. And so I like to do my power test with the radio's antenna that it came with. There's lots of different ways to do it. That's upside down. I'm going to have to do this whole thing upside down. You got to hold the power button until it finishes its countdown. And then on the radio, to make this easy, I just pick 146.52. And since I'm using a real antenna and I'm in a real neighborhood, first off, the radio needs to work. There it is. So the battery's loose. I got to hold the battery in place. Oh, she's loud. I just do 146.52. 1, 4, 6, 5, 2. And then I key up and give my call sign. Kilo Mike 9 Golf testing. Holy moly. Look at that.
Dude,
SWR
we can't.
19.99.
Yeah, okay. Now it's. Yeah, we can read it now. Mm-hmm.
And it put out 4.23 watts into that crappy antenna. Holy moly. Let's switch over to. Oh, lost the battery power. Power on. 4, 6, 0, 0. Kilo Mike 9 Golf. And
Don,
it
is
says
there. Go ahead.
it says 10 watts on 70 centimeters also.
10 watts.
Yeah, which is actually odd. Usually they don't put out that much power, but that SWR is killing me. 19.99.
Mm. Don mentioned another truth of ham radio. Every time you're at a ham fest, you should go buy adapters. And he mentions Quicksilver. Is there a ham fest they're not at?
I don't know. If Quicksilver's not there, then it's Tower.
Oh,
Tower
Tower's
will
the
be.
one I was thinking of. Yeah, Tower's they're at the Montgomery Ham Fest, which if you come here, okay. Yeah, always have adapter. Always buy. You don't have enough, I guarantee you.
Never.
Power on.
I'm going to try and tighten this SMA connector down a little bit more, just to make sure that's not the problem. But it's all upside down to me too, so I don't know which way it goes.
Power on.
Okay, there we go.
Lou, exactly right. I just bought 10 of them yesterday. I can't find 9 of them right now.
Right?
Always.
Power on.
Okay, that's getting annoying having that battery do that. I need an SMA torque wrench. What do you think, Jim?
I can 3D print you one.
Is it going to have the actual torque spec, or is it just going to kind of like give way? Because that's what my current 3D printed
I can
SMA
make
torque
it
wrench
give
does.
way.
Right.
No, you can wrench with it. I don't think you can torque with it.
Oh, look at that zoom. That's
I
still
think your
upside down.
internet is stabilizing too. It's actually getting better.
There we go.
Power on.
All right, so now I've got the antenna. I've got a different antenna. This is the original rubber duck that it came with, and now I have the other mystery antenna.
Power on.
And it reset its battery. Oh, there we go.
What?
So
Why?
it
What's
just
going
wiped
on
out
here,
my
son?
camera.
Yeah.
The SWR is much better. The power is 9.25 watts, and it is 2.65 on the SWRs instead of 19, and that might be because it was, what's it called? Switch back to that. That's not connected. Let's switch to that. Oh, it doesn't like any of these. Well, this is the fun part about live. Let me get out and I'll come right back in, Jim.
We'll be right here. Oh, my goodness. Well, while he's gone, if you haven't seen this, I'm dropping a video on this thing tomorrow. That's all I'm going to say about it, but it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Oh, and now, wow, much better. Your internet,
It'll disappear. It'll pass.
probably.
Keying up on 70 centimeters does not fix internets. Settings, change camera. Oh, it didn't like that. Didn't like that
Oops.
camera.
Broke again.
Yeah, it doesn't like that. I'll have to, let me switch back to this one.
John, thank you for the $2 super chat, buddy.
Thank
We
you, John.
appreciate it.
Wow.
Bill,
All right, I
that's
need
right.
to,
I'm well seasoned, not old.
webcam. I'm still here.
That's why we weren't talking about you.
Okay. That's back. Is that going to work? Oh, it works. Okay. I'm kind of afraid to key up again, but now it's saying
Power
5.7
on.
to 1 SWR, and the battery keeps leaving me. Oh, that wasn't even the same frequency. I'm going to hold this away a little bit farther and see if it'll not things up. Okay.
I mean,
There
apparently
we
that
go.
thing has a lot of extra power or something.
Yeah, so 1.3 watts,
Power
1.13
on.
SWR, a loose battery connection, and at 446 on the radio, it's transmitting at 446.001 as received by the frequency counter in the Shorecom at 11.2 watts, and it just power
Power
cycled
on.
itself.
Hmm.
So let's do, where's menu?
Function. Scan. CTCSS.
Oh, we got to turn
Band.
that talk
Step.
off.
Shift. Encode.
Jody's
Decode.
asking what the
Code.
issue with the battery is again. It's loose, right?
It's just loose. Yeah, stick a like a
Name.
band-aid on the
Set.
back of it.
Display. Name.
Duct tape.
Display. Voltage. Display. Set. Beep. Set. Enter.
Ah, voice off. Thank you. Auto lock, scan,
We
RXA,
all thank you,
DW,
brother.
Roger. Roger beep, turn that back on. There's a turn on, turn off. Why? There's a menu option called, where's my camera? There's a menu option called turn.
Hmm.
Why is there a menu option called turn?
Is that like turn on, turn off kind of thing?
Those are my choices. I can turn on or I can turn off. There's no manual
Turn
for this.
on,
It's
turn off.
right. Color 1, LED,
So
D-weight,
that's like a Karate
squelch.
Kid training radio.
Right. Power low. There we go. Okay. So 3.2 watts on low power, 1.01 to 1 SWR, and then the power reset itself. Let's try it on 2 meters.
Arthur likes your ammo cans, your new ammo can setup.
Thank you. Oh, just lost the camera again.
Yeah.
But now it's down to 5 watts, 3 to 1 SWR. Let's make sure it's still on low power.
Well, at least it's not killing your audio. I guess that's a thing.
Yeah, different frequency. Yeah, it's still on low power. Yep, 5 watts low power. All right, now I can fix the camera again. I didn't ask for the OBS camera. I love technology. There we go. Gotta see my video.
It
Yeah.
finally rained here yesterday. You would think my sinuses would be feeling better, but still.
Start that camera up again. Ooh. Whoa, sorry guys. No, it's because I'm transmitting 2 meters right underneath of the camera. Like there's the
Yeah.
golf ball camera that Jedi was talking about, and then this is where I'm transmitting, right here in the space. There's
In
not a
the
whole lot
near
of
field
space.
of the camera is what it seems like, yeah.
Yeah. And the camera does have Bluetooth and it also has Wi-Fi radios in it. And if I don't have the ground plane, it gives me all kinds of weird readings also. Oh, we have 31 people that want this radio. I've done a lot of videos on this ammo can, Don.
Out of 177 watching. So, chip chop, people.
Chances are pretty high that you're going to win this thing.
Yeah, Boink, we are at 720p tonight.
Yes,
And it's the internet. Steve is in a depressed area or
I
something.
am. I'm
The
down
internet does not
inside.
reach up into Iowa, apparently.
I'm down inside of a dam. I'm at a Corps of Engineers camp, and usually Corps of Engineers camps have bad internet because they're usually put in areas where people aren't able to live. So this radio also has another knob on top. This center knob here.
Is that like is that a DMR radio?
It should not be.
Okay.
Okay, so that's your VFO knob. This radio has a VFO knob if it's going to stay on.
So what's the two knobs on the side then?
So you can see the lower frequency changing 770, 795,
Yeah.
820, and
Yeah.
then on the side I've got a PTT button, I've got a monitor button, and I've got the red button, which the red button doesn't seem to do anything. It's probably programmable inside of the software somewhere.
CZMG22 said item 11 is turn. It's the menu option for repeater frequency settings.
That I
Turn on,
appreciate
turn
that, but
off.
turn off the repeater frequency setting. So
That
turn
would
on
be
and turn
my
off the
guess.
offset.
Yeah. Go to probably to the output side,
Let's take a look.
which is usually called reverse or
Yeah.
it's
Settings,
called something
camera.
else.
Is it going to work? Is the camera going to work?
Hamman
Red
has
camera?
been a member for 9 months. Thank you, Hamman, Connecticut.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he did. He won that.
Awesome.
Stop. Start. Weird. Why is this camera acting funny? I've unplugged the camera. Now I'm plugging the camera back in, telling it to be a red
Richie,
camera.
Ostrander, while Tio is talking to himself and debugging the camera from hell, the devil camera. Yes, you can get the radio even if you are still studying. Absolutely.
Yes.
There is no reason you can't buy any radio. You're not legally supposed to transmit on it, okay? I'm not a lawyer. Without a license, you're not allowed to transmit on the ham frequencies. That doesn't mean you can't learn how to program the radio, learn how to program a repeater and set up all the functions and monitor all you want. Just can't hit the button until you get that ticket. And if you were late getting here, we test on the last Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern time.
It's in the description, the link.
Yeah, okay, and it's in the description below, Richie.
And it will tell you the time. So yeah, you can program in your local repeaters, you can program in your tones, you can listen to people talking to see if it's something that you want to get into. You can listen to satellites as they pass overhead. Okay, so now we have the camera right side up. We've got a little bit of a zoom going on there. Let me change that. Hey, Larry.
Larry,
Member for 6
appreciate
months.
it, buddy.
Thank you. Look at that selection of awesome music.
I mean,
His
I
avatar.
see probably some of the world's greatest bands up there.
Right.
I wish it
So
was
I'm gonna
bigger.
go through the menu.
It's hard for me to read that. I'm too old, but I see Zeppelin and Kiss. Poison.
So it has the...
I can't
Jim's
tell.
busy. Jim's lost. I'll wait.
I'm a classic rock kind of guy.
Right. So when we go through the menu settings, let me get back to the beginning. Okay, so it's weird because it's a list that's got numbers on it. And it kind of doesn't matter. It's 1 through 37. But if I start off in the beginning of the menu on option number 1, I press the up arrow to go to 2. And in my mind, you want to go down through the list. It's like that thing where you scroll the mouse wheel up or down.
One of Apple's
And
terrible ideas. Yeah.
yeah,
Natural scrolling.
Yeah, versus the way scroll bars have worked. Dave, thank you. Might as well use it before I lose it. That's right. Last chance for this month.
David, are we going to see you at Huntsville, Dave?
Dave's always there. All right,
He
menu
lives
option 1 is
fairly close
scan, and that will scan through the band that you're currently on. Menu option 2 is transmit, select, busy, edit, busy. Sure, I don't know what that does. Nice. Yeah, it's an addicting hobby.
I had mine before I had my ticket. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's your Vox setting. That's voice activated transmitter. So you talk and it hears that you're talking. It opens up the microphone and sends whatever you're saying. So don't have this like on in the bedroom or anything. Power is set to low. Right.
Ronnie,
I'm shutting everybody off nearby. Squelch is the radio will hear static, and then as it gets smarter, it starts to sound like human voice in full quieting. Then it'll open up the squelch on the radio, and you can hear what people are saying. If I win, I'm giving it to Richie. Awesome, Craig. Thank you. So that's squelch. And so if you just have a radio that's running nothing but static, then turn the squelch up until the static goes away, and then hope that it's sensitive enough to break the squelch when someone actually transmits. And if you're doing something like soda, Summit's on the air, then you want to have your squelch open so that you can hear all the signal, even if the noise. Use your own human brain to do the discrimination of the audio. D-weight. I don't know what D-weight is. On or off?
DTMF?
Maybe.
Yeah.
This radio didn't come with a manual, so we're just going on what we know of radios in general. LED for
we don't
auto.
need no stinking manual.
Right. So there's an LED on the top of it. It'll come on when you transmit. It might also have to do with the backlight, off or on. Okay, so now I set it to on. It did not turn on. There's no other LED. Exit the menu. It didn't do anything. So key up and it comes on. Turn it off. Key up and it does not come on. No, it does come on. Okay, yeah. It does not have a flashlight on this model. No.
Okay, I don't even want free radios if they don't have a flashlight.
Well, they gave you a VFO knob instead.
I can't see a third with. Never mind. Colin said the D-weight allows the radio to receive signals on a secondary band while still operating on the primary band. Duplex?
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Dual weight, not duplex weight. I don't think this is a full duplex radio.
Surely
It's
not.
too cheap and too
Du-
TYT to be a full
dual weight.
duplex.
Yeah.
So if you're listening on the first VFO, the top one, it'll hear on the second one. So that LED thing that I just saw is actually the backlight. When I turned it off, the backlight went away. So I had to turn it back on so I could see what I was doing. So there's the LED color. I can change the color. Ooh, blue. There you go, Jim.
I like
Purple,
blue.
orange. So it's orange, blue, purple. Let's set it to blue for Jim.
Phil's asking if that's dual. That is dual band, right? So do two VFOs.
Yes, it's dual band, which is 2 meters and 70 centimeters. Dual VFO is the two on the screen. Beep is going to have it beep every time you push a button, which is great if you are not light dependent like Jim and I are.
Yeah.
We have blind friends and they have corrected us. You can't say that. It has crossband repeat?
Right.
This radio
Surprise.
has crossband repeat? If it does have crossband repeat, then it is full duplex. Crossband repeater function. Yeah, wow.
And well, I'm not
It could be
sure
store and
about.
forward, but I doubt it.
No, I don't think it's storing forward. That's kind of technologically adept for TYT. But
Yeah. Okay.
Kansas Jeff has the hard hitting question here.
Yes.
Does it transmit on multiple bands at the same time?
We might get that far. It depends on how far we get in here. Annie, ANI, auto numbered information?
Automatic. That's caller ID. So with
Yes.
radios, usually that's implemented as MDC, is what I've seen it called. That's what it was on the fire department radios. So when we keyed up our radio, it showed our call on the other radios in the console.
Yeah, it's an identification thing.
Automatic number
Ooh,
identification. Yeah, it's
thanks,
ANI,
Doc
automatic number
Brad.
identification.
Yeah. Thank you, Doc Brad.
Doc Brad, appreciate it. 199 super chat.
Woo, 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 woo. Yeah,
Pretend
I
we're
was gonna say
dancing, Doc.
it
Okay.
reminds me. I'm dancing. It reminds me of my 818 that has the different color choices for it. So I have the turn set to on. Well, I have the turn set to off now. I feel no different. Let me turn myself on. My hands are
Steven's
both
saying
both
dual
hands are above the
D
table.
D weight is dual weight standby.
I agree.
I don't know that that's
Okay.
much more
So I
helpful,
have
but
turned on and turned off. I feel better now. ID. So this is where you set your ANI. So if I key up my
hmm
radio on Jim, if I key up my radio, Jim's radio will say 000, and of course Jim hasn't programmed his either. So when he keys up, mine will say 000 is
yeah.
calling.
Well, you can program it, but you also have to enable it. The other radio has to be set to receive it.
There's your
Otherwise, they'll just
enabling.
ignore it. It's like a repeater PL tone.
Yeah.
You don't really. It may chirp or sound like a little blip of static. You can't really tell.
And if you look, it still has the screen protector on it. This has never been peeled.
I was blaming your camera for that.
No, it's got air bubbles. My camera doesn't have air bubbles. The camera's not bad. It's low quality internet here too.
I know.
Timeout timer. This is to shut up the old man who will not unkey in the middle of his 2.5 hour diatribe about what the weather is like 5 feet from where you're sitting. The radio will automatically disconnect him.
If they only had it turned on most of the time.
Right? They probably went in and turned it off. That's your timeout timer. BCLO, busy channel lockout. So this is if your radio is busy, it will not allow you to key up and transmit over when someone else is talking. Because both of us can transmit at the same time, and whoever has the strongest signal wins on FM.
We have a new member, Ohio Mike,
Ooh,
brother.
Michael's not a new member. He's a longtime member. Thank you.
Well, I know that, but it says he became a member.
He probably
So
became an
Mike,
additional YouTube member. I was actually talking to him on Patreon today. One of the other ways you can support the channel. Thank you, Michael. Welcome
Mike,
again.
appreciate it. I got a
Yeah.
keyboard for you, Michael.
Michael said that we should volunteer to drive the golf carts at Hamvention. They're apparently running low on golf cart drivers.
I mean, I don't know if they would follow my rider. I need a cooler of Diet Dr. Pepper,
Pack
at
of
least a half
Newports.
a pack of cigarettes, sunglasses.
Stephen LeBlanc, welcome. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining. Glad to have you.
Stephen, appreciate it.
So there's the Vox switch, which would turn Vox on and off, and then we saw the Vox setting, sensitivity setting earlier. The Roger beep. Thank you, Michael.
So
Taken care
he
of.
went from new member to member for 36 months. Good. I'm glad YouTube figured it out.
Yes, that kind of stinks if it doesn't, because you guys get membership milestone badges and all kinds of stuff for however long you're a member. So there's the Roger beep. Every time you key up and let go, it will send a doot doot over the airwaves to the other person to let them know that you're done. Thank you, Andy.
Andy Cowley, the world's foremost ham tuber awesome member.
DW on, so that's dual watch. And then we had the D wait. Oh, okay. So dual watch would turn it on so it'll listen on both
Both
VFOs.
both
And
VFOs,
then
yeah.
dual wait is probably how long it stays listening to the
Delays after
non-selected,
carrier squelch breaks, yeah.
yeah, to let go again. So yeah, cool. RX save. That's probably power saving, where it'll actually shut itself off every n number of seconds to save the battery. Scan.s. Your choices are CO, TO, SE, and that probably has to do with what happens when it sees an active signal.
Yeah. Carrier
It'll
off,
stop,
carrier on. Yep.
and then it'll resume when the conversation. It'll resume scanning when the conversation shuts up, or it'll just stop indefinitely until you tell it to start scanning again. Or it'll play for like 5 seconds and then scan again anyway, whether somebody's talking or not. So scan step or whatever that is. Auto lock will lock your keyboard after you stop playing with it. Voice off, so that's the one where the Baofeng lady tells you. The tail on. This is your repeater tail, and sometimes it's smart enough to tell it. How many Millers can Ape have and still golf cart? Well, he's kind of a lightweight, so not many. Jim and I could have probably, a
He
30
gets
pound.
sleepy.
Yeah. Thankfully, he's not an I love you man drunk.
Yeah, right. Whew. I love you, man. Doc, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Doc, you should have done a YouTube haul video because I
knew
think
you remember too.
you're the person I personally remember getting the most stuff at Hamvention. Doc was walking around. Every time I saw Doc, he had his arms full of stuff.
Yeah. So this one
And,
here will, when you turn the radio on, it will display how much voltage the battery has in it, so you kind of know how much time you have remaining in your life of radio. It will say nothing at
mm-hmm.
all, or it will have the message that you've programmed in. So like when I first got my ticket and I got my first Baofeng, I had it programmed in my call sign and my club. Like, oh, I'm so awesome now. And then that club disbanded. Actually, I don't think it disbanded, but I don't know that anybody goes anymore. So the voltage currently is 8.3 volts in the battery. Oh, 64 entries. It's almost time to draw it. Dis NM. And I can't go into that menu option. Channel name. So these are things that you would set. So display name, channel name, and then CCDC, RCDC, and TCDC. So I know what T and R is. That's transmit and receive. CDC is your tone to decode. And then I don't know what C is.
Ronnie sent me a link for the manual. I can tell you.
Oh, no, we can't look at the manual. I mean, you can, but I can't. I'm not allowed to.
Okay, I won't tell you. Well, I mean, we've got two
You
or
can.
three people in the chat that I know are looking at the manual.
Oh, yeah. So CDC is not necessarily CTCSS, though.
I think they're using it for shorthand for that.
Well, I can't change it anyway. I can only leave it at
What
off.
what number are you on?
Menu option 30, R-CDC. Nothing comes between a Canadian and his yogurt. Not even the radio manual so he can correct us.
27, 28. Where'd 30 go? Huh. This
It doesn't even
manual
tell
only
you.
goes to 28, yeah.
Okay, so it is option Option 28 is channel name. Option 29 is CCDC, RCDC, and TCDC. And I wonder if those are for your crossband repeat.
Well, Frank is sending me DMs offline, and he said, I don't know why he didn't put it in the chat. So it looks like there's a translation issue with things. When they say crossband, they do mean full duplex. Have Steve check that out with another radio ASAP.
Right. I'm not set up for
Please,
that.
Frank.
I
Say
would need two
please.
additional radios to test it.
Yeah.
Two? I would need to transmit on this radio while also transmitting on another radio on the second band and be able to hear the second band. I think. I think you can test it with a repeater, but I don't know if there's any repeater in range.
No. Well, you just need to key up on a VFO,
Hmm.
and while you're keyed up,
Derby, thank you.
you need to key up on another radio. You only need two radios. Just key up on 5.2 on the AVFO, and then key up on a different radio, like on VHF call on VFO-B. And if you
Maybe.
can hear yourself, if you can hear while you're keyed down on A, transmit the other radio on 446. And if you hear something in the B VFO, then it is full duplex. Derby Mobile has joined as a new member. Thank you. Or
Hi,
Derby. I don't know. I'm
Derby.
going to go with Derby. Derby, thank you. Doc, oh, here's Doc's Hall. A loop antenna, a 710 GA. Doc, you got the fancy one with the GPS. My ghetto one doesn't have GPS. Z-bit, a spool antenna, a tri-band HT antenna, and a bunch of smalls and maybe some stuff he forget in his second luggage is the Hall. Good score, Doc. Michael dropped a $10 super chat.
Thank you, Michael.
Good to see Steve's hands on stream. They're not as pretty as Chuck's, but, you know. And always good to
I
see
gotta
Gene.
change cameras.
Missed you at Hamvention, buddy.
146, 520. Okay, so that's that
Whoops.
radio. And we're gonna get some feedback, but feedback is still feedback. That's the 2 meter call. And my camera's gone. Ha ha. So if it works, then just take my word for it. So that works. Now I need to transmit on this radio while transmitting on the other radio. Okay. KM9G testing on 5.2. KM9G testing on 5.2. KM9G testing on 70 centimeter call. Yes, it is full duplex.
Huh.
I am no longer in Wisconsin, Ken. I just left this morning.
And Ken has become a member. But I thought Ken was already a member. At least I thought he was. And other Andy said he didn't have anything interesting to say, but he wanted to use his free member milestone chat. So thank you, Andy.
Awesome. So this radio on the 70 centimeter call was heard on this radio while I was transmitting on 5.2.
It's
So
full duplex, dude.
that's kind of scary. Somebody's getting a good radio as far as that goes.
That's impressive for, what is that, a $50, $60 radio? Something like
There's a
that?
link in the chat.
Frank, look up the price on that. Chip chop, Frank.
Get to work, Frank. Do work, son. So we were on.
Now, Jody said you need to make an AMSAT contact to verify this.
Yes. So SD is the shift direction, and it's set to minus for repeater here. And so you can go
80.
negative offset, positive offset, or no offset. And then you can set the offset itself for 2 meter. It's usually 600, 88 radiality. It's still not bad for a full duplex radio.
Full duplex. Craig has been a member for 16 months.
Thank you,
His
Craig.
light blinks in OK when TO keys up.
Nice.
Oh, my goodness.
Trying to see if there's any menu thing that I missed. And I don't think so. So it can find the tones. It can seek the tones too, is what this is trying to tell me, I think. Yeah, so
Yeah, that's what
it's doing
that's,
a tone hunt.
yeah.
I bet they're throwing tech words around, Arnold. It appears that no one is an expert on that radio. Not even the expert is an expert on that radio.
I I have to agree with Tio on this 100%. First of all, I will say, and I've said this on my show, and I think I said this on Coffee and Ham Radios, the FTX1 is a beautiful radio. It is Yaesu's answer to a ICOM 705. Either one of them are gorgeous radios. I personally have no real desire to have either one because it's not my jam to buy a high dollar QRP radio.
He
I
doesn't
wouldn't
like to
buy
go outside.
I wouldn't buy an Elecraft either. But I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. The whole drama about the connection between the beautiful head and the powerful butt is nothing but random answers from everybody. You've got people that swear you have to have the Holy Yaesu cable. You've got people I have seen that said, I tested it with the cable I had and it works just fine. And in my opinion, Yaesu is just trying to upsell very high dollar cables. I don't know. This is my opinion. This is not Yaesu's. This ain't
Jimmy's
even fact.
speculating.
I am speculating wildly. But empirically speaking, I bought a FTM 500 at Dayton 2 years ago. And I was told by someone who should know, you got to buy you can't use just any extension cable. You have to buy the Yaesu one. Bullshit. So, and it's been in my truck running for 2 years. Carlos Felix
So
has had all sorts of weird problems with his that he thinks may be the cable. I don't know. I just know what my evidence is. Let's see. We got some
okay.
super chats while I was ranting. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, rant more. Apparently it works. Thank you, Jody.
Jody has donated $5 for the radio giveaways for unlicensed, air quote, hams. Merci, monsieur. Thanks, Jody. Eh?
Merci. Merde.
Merci. No, merde is a cuss word.
Oh, yes. Yeah. As a scanning receiver, the cable is bad. Nice.
And yeah, Lee, maybe it's like a company line on that whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, the right way to say that phrase is I don't know, not
Right. But
it doesn't do it, and then have everybody, prove you wrong later on. So this is the Tiny SA, and this is an awesome case, and it comes in a variety of colors: red, blue, black, and white. And you can get your call sign in it, or you can leave your call sign out of it. And beautiful head and a big butt. I'm not seeing a problem, Ken.
that's a winner right there.
Yeah. So there's a link in the chat for this. We're not going to have time to do the full sweep on it, but you can use oh, hi. You can use the Tiny SA to scan for harmonics on the radio. But I did want to show this because we were hopefully not going to run out of time. And inside, I got two little attenuators that fit in here. Normally, I have the one single 40 dB attenuator, but in here I have these two cute little 20 dB attenuators, and you can put these in line with each other, and now I have 40 dBs of attenuation. So, but the big boy, the 40 dB doesn't fit in the case because it's too big. So, when you get this radio as a gift, then you can test it out yourself. And I'm going to switch cameras and switch views and all that jazz. Jim, I think we can do the giveaway.
Okay. Before you key up again and kill the stream?
Oh, yeah, I've unkeyed and I have removed the battery. But you also get the screws. Ronnie sent in the screws for the belt clip, but not the belt clip itself.
Yeah. All right. Free radio. Boom. Here we go.
77 entries. You could win if you did enter yourself or a friend of yours.
And several people are going to reham this to
Lee and N7X. Lee, are you taking it or are you giving it to, I think it was Richie who was saying he wanted it? I'm not trying to guilt you. If you want it, take
Richie
it. Richie Ostrander,
yeah.
You can pass it along afterwards.
Yeah. Just let us know if you're going to keep it or reham it or you want us to respin.
Ham it forward. Any and all. That's a different.
This is interesting. CGMG22 found this.
Lee said ham it. All right.
Ham it. Does that mean respin it or give it to Richie?
We're giving it to Richie.
Giving it to Richie. Okay,
We're giving
Richie.
it to Richie. Richie, reach out to me. Richie Ostrander. You are the winner. Congratulations. Lee, thank you very much for hamming it forward. If we ham shamed you in any way, that was not the intention, but you're an awesome dude for hamming it forward. Please don't make
When you use
transmitting.
this function, please don't make transmitting frequency as 3 times
Right.
receiving frequency.
Because it's why 3 times? It's a
Harmonic.
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 Yeah, but I thought it was like, I guess it's every multiple.
It's every multiple, yes. But it might be especially bad on the third one.
Uh, Probably because it's out of band, 435.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, just follow the directions. Love you too, Lee. Thank you very much, and thank you for sending it forward. I'm on your Discord, happily taken 8791. I'll hit you in a bit. Thank you, Richie. Got it. And hopefully you can get that out for me for tomorrow. Because I'm going to the post office tomorrow. Well, thanks, Lee. Congrats, Richie. Third is in band for 2 meters if you pick the right 2 meter frequency. Yes. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Awesome. Yes, Ronnie. Me too. Well, Jim, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
No, I dropped my shorts today. I've always wanted to say that.
You did drop a lot of shorts today.
I did. I've got a video coming out probably tomorrow on the newest Meshtastic dingus I got a hold of, which I think is actually pretty cool. And old Garth, WG2G, was selling some of his Meshtastic gear today, and I was overcome by the spirit, and I bought a bunch of his stuff. So I
Now
don't
Jim
know.
is a problem without a solution.
Now
Before he was a
I
solution without a problem.
now I have many solutions without a specific problem, and I'm actually going to work on building a solar powered mesh repeater.
Nice. Nice.
So,
I
but
do like that one that Seed Studio has. It looks kind of like a credit card. It's more
hang on.
badge worthy.
Yeah,
You know, like
it's
Jim's
in a
whipping it
pocket
out.
some. It's in a pocket somewhere.
Dave, he says, "Why build when you can buy?" Dave does
Well,
have an awesome solar repeater.
David, if it was released, I would have bought it at the show, my brother. So,
It
chip
is pretty
chop,
cool
David.
looking.
Well, I guess it's probably in the shop. I have it somewhere, the credit card one. They were selling those at Seed, and our friend Dave, KB5UTY, was selling those at Hamvention, and I think everybody got one of those because I
Yeah.
saw a ton of people with them. I love it. That is the coolest device, and I know this is not Seed Studios. I hope I'm blocking all the thing on it, but this one is cool because it's a battery pack and a Meshtastic device.
Actually, it's a pretty good battery pack too, from what I've
Yes,
seen.
yes.
Don's asking, how do you use it without a display? You use whatever display technology you have at your disposal, an iPad, a MacBook, a iPhone, an Android.
Don, the app handles all the display functionality, the configuration, everything else. If you know how to Bluetooth a dingus to your phone or an iPad, you can use any Meshtastic device. You do kind of have to have a phone for Meshtastic. It doesn't have to have service. It just has to have Bluetooth and the ability to run the Meshtastic app. And the app will run on Android or iOS. So,
I think we have a couple of seconds. You starred a question from Derby before, and I didn't get a chance to answer it. He's
oh
looking
yeah,
for his
because
first mobile
yeah.
radio for the truck. Crossband repeat 2 meter 70 centimeter. That gets you into Yaesu territory. I don't know if your Kenwood does that, Jim.
I don't know without looking at the manual.
The
I know the
the
FTM
FTM
400
400,
does it,
the
and I assume
500 I think does it.
I think so. Yeah.
And then, so here's where you get into questionable legality, TXRX, GMRS if possible. Also, the Redivus MA1 is a
Yes.
crossband repeat radio. I
Yes.
haven't done that yet. But when you start getting into transmitting on GMRS from a ham radio, that's illegal, and you shouldn't be doing that. You can take a GMRS radio and modify it for ham, which then it is no longer type accepted for GMRS. So, in case of an emergency, you can transmit on GMRS. And what you do with your friends on your radio is totally up to you. IC 5100 is another good choice. It's got a bigger screen, kind of like the 400. The 2730 does crossband as well. That's
Hmm.
true. There's a bunch of them that are out there, but when you start asking for crossband, you start getting into more expensive radio territory. And I would bet that the TYT 8900 probably also does it. But I have a friend, and you do too, Jim, and a lot of you do. Joe Brett has had one, and he
Hmm.
was not happy with it.
It's
Um, he's
awkward.
had like 3 or 4 of them that all fried,
Four.
and it's a stolen clone of the Yaesu, I think. I think.
I don't know nothing about that, but yeah. I mean, Joe Brett, either Joe Brett is cursed, his shack is cursed, or that radio is cursed. Well, there's a curse in there somewhere. Somebody sacrificed a goat, burnt some
Right.
sage.
Well, Jim, good stream. Thank you very much for helping me out. And Frank, thank you for dropping links in the chat. Much appreciated. And all of my Green Text folks, love you all. Love you all. Even if you're not in Green Text, I still love you. I'm just a loving guy. I'm going to click the button, and we will see you next Monday.